Donald Trump destroys everything he touches to the surprise of absolutely no one. Nobody. Bro, I ain't gonna lie. Everything he touches is destroyed. He's the opposite of, like, despite being treated like a messiah, he's the opposite. He touches you and you're not healed, you just die. This man had a single job. All Donald Trump had to do was team up with Canadian conservatives to bring about a conservative agenda throughout the Western world. Very simple job, very simple task. He couldn't even do the most basic thing, which is team up. That's one of the most basic human tasks, is teaming up with someone you ideologically agree with to get a task done. He couldn't even do that. Donald Trump secured the liberal victory in the Canadian elections by being himself, just being a dickhead. He managed to destroy the conservative lead. To give you guys an idea of how bad it was, let's actually read about it. Just 5 months ago, a Conservative Party victory in Canada seemed all but certain. Justin Trudeau, Canada's Prime Minister and leader of the Liberal Party, was widely unpopular, and polls showed the Conservatives with what seemed like an insurmountable 25-point lead. Then, U.S. voters went to the polls. Donald Trump's victory started to reverberate in Canada. He imposed tariffs, including a 25% levy on Canadian goods. He claimed fentanyl from China was pouring into the U.S. from the northern border and threatened Canadian sovereignty, saying Canada should be made the 51st state, as well as referring to Trudeau as Governor Trudeau. Many Canadians became angry. Visits to the U.S. began falling and some boycotted American products altogether. Then, Trudeau resigned in March and the Liberals elected Mark Carney as their new leader. The 25-point lead the Conservatives once had was eviscerated, and support for Liberals has grown since. Now, with an election set for Monday, April 28th, which was yesterday, pollsters are saying the Conservatives have lost too much ground to make up. Polls are predicting a loss for the Conservatives and their leader, Pierre Poilievre, or however the fuck you say his last name. Fuck that nigga. The reality is, Donald Trump can't do anything goddamn right. Between destroying the economy, destroying America, and handing a victory that seemed like was in the bag. I ain't even gonna lie. I've never seen anybody say anything positive about Trudeau ever. Ever. Every time I hear from some Canadian on the internet, probably Russian bots, it's, Trudeau this, Trudeau that. And to be honest, to be fair, it was projected that Trudeau really had lost a genuine amount of popularity. People didn't like him. Whether it's bots or real Canadians, people didn't like Trudeau. It seemed like the Canadians were about to install a conservative government. But thanks to Donald Trump, who can't do nothing right, but basic. All he had to do was say, Pierre Poilievre is so great, so amazing, so great, I endorse him. That's all he had to say. That's all he had to do. Simple 2 + 2 type. But see, Trump could have contained that motherfucking ego. And as a result, Mark Carney won. He literally won. He won the election thanks to Trump. Mark Carney led Canada's Liberal Party to victory Monday after a polarized and historic election dominated by President Donald Trump's tariffs and trade policy. The rookie politician cemented the Liberals' 4th straight term in the government, a rare feat in Canadian politics, while holding back the Conservative Party led by Pierre Poilievre, I don't know how to say his last name, who lost his seat in the House. So not only did he lose the election to lead the nation, the man literally lost his seat in the House. Bro, this man actually, like Donald Trump, this Trump is objectively hilarious. Bro, Donald Trump has got to be the funniest nigga in the country today. Like, this, you can't write this kind of shit. This is prime TV. Prime TV. Prime TV. All Donald Trump had to do was endorse the conservative candidate. That's all he had to do, is say, I want this person to win. I'm in line with him. We're going to make Canada great again. We're going to be great together. But see, Donald Trump's biggest issue is he does not know how to cooperate. It's all about me, and the movement, the nation, everyone else be damned. Donald Trump is simply carrying out the same behavior he's always been carrying out. This is simply him being himself. Literally the day of the election, this stupid ass nigga go on Twitter and say, the 51st state, Governor Trudeau. He literally talked about the 51st state in the lead up to, on the day of the election. What? Like, bro, there's one of two things happening here. Either Donald Trump's ego supersedes, I was about to say his competence, but let's not even pretend like he has any competence. Either his ego superseded the common sense we all wish he had, or this is exactly how he wants it to go. Maybe Donald Trump really does want to invade Canada, and in order for him to justify doing so, he needs an antagonistic leader in office. However, I don't even know if that was his goal, because he literally put Pierre in a negative position. You put him in a bad spot. Because at the end of the day, he obviously wants to be cozy with MAGA, and he doesn't want to incite the ire of a conservative political party right next to his country. However, his nation is being threatened by said political party. Donald Trump didn't just levy tariffs on Canada. Donald Trump threatened to invade the goddamn place, to kill Canadians. You know, if Trump was smart, he would have placed the tariffs on Canada quietly. And they probably would. And guess what? Pierre probably would have won. You can do all sorts of bullshit quietly and still get the outcome you want. But see, Donald Trump didn't know how to do that. He doesn't know how to move in silence. He doesn't know how. And as a result, he kept yelling and screaming about, I'm going to conquer this, I'm going to conquer that. I'm going to make the 51st state Governor Trudeau. That's what Trump said. It's no surprise to me that the conservatives lost this election. Donald Trump single-handedly handed this election away. Single-handedly. He could have said, you know what? I was simply joking about the 51st state. You guys are not going to become the 51st state. I love you so much. So amazing. So great. So wonderful. Love you so much. Victory. He could have done that, but he just couldn't bring himself to do that, though. Ego won over. Pride won over. All he had to do was prioritize victory over ego, but he couldn't do it. He had to come out and say that Canada would be the 51st state. Absolute fool. Like, as the European right-wingers are actively trying to help each other and are in cahoots and collusion, Western Hemisphere right-wingers can't even get along. Donald Trump put Pierre in the worst possible position, and of course, he lost. So now, the new PM, Mark Carney, here's what he has to say to Trump and to the United States.
As I've been warning for months, America wants our land, our resources, our water, our country. Never. But these are not idle threats. President Trump is trying to break us so that America can own us. That will never ever happen. We are once again at one of those hinge moments of history. Our old relationship with the United States, a relationship based on steadily increasing integration, is over. The system of open global trade, anchored by the United States, a system that Canada has relied on since the Second World War, a system that, while not perfect, has helped deliver prosperity for a country for decades, is over.
Mark Carney, he has no misgivings about the situation he's in. He knows Donald Trump cannot be trusted. Even if Trump is joking, his jokes have effects. This whole thing of, you know, Trump's not serious about the tariffs, then he is serious about it. Even just Trump tweeting about them negatively impacts the stock market. Mark Carney has no misgivings about how serious any of this is. He clearly understands the significance of the situation at hand. This nigga Trump really caught the ball, ran to his own team side of the court, and put it in. And one. Total fool. Like, this man's an actual idiot. Total idiot. Granted a whole election away. And you know what? Thank you, Trump. Thank you. Thank you for solidifying liberal democracy in Canada. You think the Canadians aren't watching the absolute mayhem taking place in America? It's not just Trump threatening to invade them. Look at what's going on. Do you think they want what's going on here happening over there? Tariffs, people being disappeared, all of this you think the Canadians want this third world shit for themselves? Of course not. So at the end of the day, it's obvious as to why they lost this election, the Conservatives. And it's mostly probably 95% because of Donald Trump. Total fool. Absolute fool. On the day of, this idiot over there tweeting, talking about we're going to make them the 51st state so great, so great, so blessed, so great. Threatening to invade someone is going to endear them to you. But that's Donald Trump's ego. He wants to be like President McKinley. He wants to use tariffs to make America rich and then invade a bunch of different places and turn it into like American territories. That's what he wants to be. He wants to be McKinley so bad. And you're not McKinley. You think it's a coincidence other American presidents haven't engaged in expansionism since? You think it's a coincidence? It's far more beneficial and prosperous to engage in global trade than to be invading and killing left and right. But what do the experts know? What do all these presidents before Trump know? What do we know? Lord have mercy, bro. It's like something out of a Boondocks episode. This man is a fucking joke.